Before your enemies hurt you, the fools already have. They don't need to hate you. They don't need to plan against you. They only need to stay near you. Blind, reckless, unaware. The most dangerous person in your life is not the clever villain. It is the fool who walks beside you, believing he is always right. Fools bring endless trouble, and the worst part is, they don't even know it. They think they are harmless, but stupidity is never neutral. Stupidity is not lack of knowledge. It is not failing in school. It is not being uneducated. That is circumstance. That can change. It does not define the soul. True stupidity is deeper. It is the emptiness of the soul, a blindness that twists everything it touches. It takes facts and bends them. It turns kindness into weakness. It turns generosity into guilt. It turns honesty into attack. In the world of a fool, only he exists. No matter how clear the evidence, he will distort it to protect his pride. He will rewrite history in his mind. He will justify cruelty as principle. He will demand sacrifice while giving nothing in return. One of the fool's favorite weapons is moral blackmail. He shames. He guilts. He manipulates the conscience of everyone around him. He expects patience without giving patience. He expects understanding without offering understanding. He expects respect without earning it. You might encounter him at work, sitting beside you in silence while watching your every move, or at family gatherings, spreading judgments disguised as concern, or online, lurking in comment sections, turning anonymity into cruelty. This is not arrogance on our part. It is not looking down on others. It is simply the truth. A fool is dangerous because he cannot see his own limits. You can accept different values. You can accept different lifestyles. You can accept different paths. But you cannot accept stupidity, because stupidity poisons everything it touches. A fool always believes he is right. He never reflects. He never questions himself. He never doubts his own voice. And when you speak reason, it only fuels his resistance. He twists logic. He laughs at insight. He ridicules perspective. You can try to guide him. You can try to explain. You can try to reason. But all attempts are futile. His logic is self-contained. His worldview sealed. Your words bounce off him like stones against steel. This is the great danger. Fools look ordinary. They sit in offices. They eat at dinner tables. They laugh at parties. But slowly, they drain your energy. They rewrite your thoughts. They destroy your peace. They shape reality to suit their blindness. True kindness requires wisdom. True compassion requires clarity. Without wisdom, kindness becomes cruelty. Without clarity, compassion becomes self-destruction. This is why fools are cruel. This is why they are cold. They lack empathy. They lack reflection. They lack the very core of humanity. Some call it innocence. But no. Naive goodness is guided by the heart. Foolishness is guided by nothing. It is chaos disguised as simplicity. It is cruelty disguised as ignorance. Ignorance is often loud. It speaks without reflection. It attacks without responsibility. On the internet, the mask falls away. Anonymous fools reveal their darkest thoughts. They wound without remorse. They feel nothing. And yet, They justify every word. Ignorance is always sure of itself. The less it knows, the more certain it becomes. It cannot hold two perspectives. It cannot imagine another view. So, it destroys what it cannot understand. This is why the fool is dangerous. Not because he intends evil, but because he embodies it without even knowing. The Tao teaches us, do not fight with fools. Do not try to save them. Do not let them into your circle. Respect their karma. Step aside. Block. Withdraw. Because if you don't, their blindness will consume your light. Sometimes, the greatest spiritual act of love is a polite block, a silent exit, a clean cut, before it is too late. The Tao never calls people stupid. It speaks of blindness. It speaks of being out of harmony with the flow. A fool is not someone who lacks knowledge. A fool is someone who resists truth. The Tao is simple. It flows like water. But the fool fights the current. He splashes, he thrashes, he drowns himself, and tries to pull others with him. Wisdom is not about knowing everything. It is about aligning with what is. Foolishness is not about knowing nothing. It is about rejecting what is. The Tao says, the wise are flexible. The foolish are rigid. The wise bend like bamboo in the storm. The foolish snap like dry branches. And once they snap, they blame the wind. They blame the rain. They blame everyone but themselves. This is why Taoists never argue with fools. Debate cannot awaken them. Logic cannot soften them. The fool's mind is like a closed jar. Nothing enters, nothing breathes. The Tao describes three kinds of people. Those who hear the way and follow, those who hear the way and doubt, and those who hear the way and laugh. Who are the last? The fools. To laugh at wisdom is their reflex. To mock what they cannot grasp is their defense. And still, they believe themselves clever. The danger is this. A fool is not only blind, he is proud of his blindness. He wears it like armor. He calls it strength. He calls it being real. But the Tao calls it misalignment. The wise live with awareness. The foolish live in resistance. The wise reflect on their mistakes. The foolish double down on them. The wise know they don't know. The foolish think they know everything. This is the root difference. Wisdom is soft. Foolishness is hard. Wisdom is humble. Foolishness is arrogant. Wisdom flows with life. Foolishness fights it. In the Tao, there is no shame in not knowing. The true shame is refusing to learn. A fool refuses. He resists. He clings to his narrow world and calls it the universe. So the Tao warns us, do not waste yourself trying to awaken the unwilling. If they laugh at the way, let them. If they deny the truth, step aside. Because to walk with a fool is to walk away from the Tao. And once you leave the Tao, you leave yourself. The lesson is clear. Stay with the flow, not with the fool, before your own clarity is lost. Have you noticed? Time with a fool always leaves you tired, not challenged, not inspired, just empty. This is not imagination. It is energy, a real, tangible force. Every person carries a field, a vibration, a frequency. The wise raise yours. The fool lowers it. A fool's energy is heavy, chaotic, noisy. It scatters. It leaks. It pulls everything around it down. When they enter a room, you feel it immediately. A tension in the air. A subtle heaviness. Even silence becomes loud. Even light seems dimmer. They bring confusion where there was clarity. They bring noise where there was silence. They bring chaos where there was flow. And when you spend too much time with them, your own clarity fades, your energy weakens, your confidence wavers, your joy becomes muted. You notice yourself repeating their words, mirroring their fears, adopting their frustrations. Without even realizing, you begin to vibrate like them. This is why the Tao warns us. It is not about judgment. It is about resonance. To walk with the wise is to resonate higher. To walk with the fool is to resonate lower. Energy is contagious. Mood is magnetic. Thoughts are waves, and fools are heavy anchors pulling you into turbulence. The fool has no inner source. He has no connection to the flow, so he survives by attaching to others, like a parasite. You give him your patience, he consumes it. You give him your kindness, he consumes it. You give him your energy, he consumes it. And without even noticing, he leaves you hollow. You may think, this is temporary, I can recover. But the cumulative effect is subtle, it is slow, it is insidious. Every encounter leaves a residue. Every conversation leaves a mark. Every shared space diminishes your flow. And when you are exhausted, does he thank you? He demands more. He expects more. He believes you owe him. This is the hidden cruelty of fools, not active violence, not conscious malice, but passive draining, unseen theft of your vitality. The longer you stay, the weaker you become, until one day you no longer recognize yourself. Your thoughts feel heavy. Your heart feels sluggish. Your spirit feels muted. That is the true danger, not the fool's noise, not the fool's demands, but what you lose when you let him stay. The Tao teaches, protect your qi, protect your energy, protect your field. Because once your energy is gone, everything else follows. Your clarity, your health, your peace, your creativity. So do not waste it. Do not hand it over. Do not let fools drink from your light. Walk away. Before they drain you dry, before your light dims, before your flow stops, before your Tao fades. The fool does not only drain your energy, he rewrites your mind. At first, you resist. You think, I know better. I won't be influenced. But slowly, something changes. You hear his complaints. You hear his twisted logic. You hear his endless justifications. Piece by piece, your clarity begins to blur. You start to explain yourself when no explanation is needed. You start to doubt yourself when no mistake was made. You start to carry his confusion as if it were your own. In meetings, his opinions twist your plans. At family dinners, his criticisms echo in your mind long after. In online debates, his insistence leaves you second-guessing. The subtle influence is everywhere. This is the subtle cost. Not the noise outside, but the infection inside. Words are seeds. Conversations are currents. Even when you disagree, you are still touched. You are still moved. You are still rewritten. A fool's worldview is like a virus. It needs a host. It needs someone to carry it. And if you stay too long, that host becomes you. You find yourself thinking smaller, reacting faster, judging harsher. You start seeing the world through a lens of fear and frustration instead of clarity and insight. You notice habits forming that were never yours. Complaints you never made become your own. Doubt you never felt starts whispering inside. And this is the danger. The fool is not just outside you. He begins to live inside you. You may think, but I am strong. I can resist. No one stands in smoke and leaves without smell. No one walks in mud and leaves without stains. The Tao says, environment shapes essence. Who you walk with, you become. With the wise, you reflect, you grow, you expand. With fools, you shrink, you stagnate, you decay. You repeat their mistakes silently. You adopt their narrow thinking unknowingly. You defend their logic without realizing it. This is why your mind feels heavy. Your thoughts feel clogged. Your decision-making feels clouded. The silent theft is insidious, not of time, not of energy, but of mind, of clarity, of self. And by the time you realize, it is already late. So the Tao warns, guard your mind, guard your inner field. Step away before the fool's voice becomes your own. Because once you think like him, you are no longer yourself. And losing yourself is the highest cost of all. Even when you see the danger, leaving is not easy. Why? Because fools attach themselves to your life in invisible ways. Sometimes it is family, a cousin who constantly judges, a sibling who twists every conversation, a parent who imposes guilt disguised as care. Sometimes it is friendship, the friend who demands loyalty but never respects boundaries, the one whose drama consumes your weekends and your thoughts. Sometimes it is work, the colleague who sows confusion, the team member who manipulates and resists, the boss whose blind decisions drag everyone down. The ties feel natural, but they are chains. You tell yourself, I cannot abandon them. They need me. I can help them. But you cannot. They do not want to be helped. You try patience. You try guidance. You try reasoning. And all efforts fail. Always. The fool cannot learn. He cannot reflect. He cannot see. He has his own self-contained universe and you are outside it. You feel guilt. You feel shame. You feel fear of being cruel. You call it loyalty. You call it love. You call it duty, but it is not. Because love with a fool becomes burden. It becomes leash. It becomes poison. Even when you know the truth, you hesitate. You rationalize. You make excuses. I must tolerate this. I must be patient. I must hope he changes. The struggle is also habit. You are used to their presence. You are used to the drama. You are used to the noise. Breaking it feels unnatural, even when it is life-saving. You imagine the consequences: family disapproval, social awkwardness, lost opportunities. You calculate every what if, and suddenly courage feels heavy. The truth is simple. The longer you stay, the more you lose. Not them. You. Your energy. Your mind. Your clarity. Tao teaches, some battles are not yours. Some people are not yours to fix. Sometimes the greatest act of love is stepping away. Step away with grace. Step away with silence. Step away with courage. Because leaving fools is not cruelty. It is protection. It is preservation. It is self-respect. The struggle you feel is the last barrier before freedom. Once you cross it, you reclaim your energy. You reclaim your mind. You reclaim your Tao. And freedom begins the moment you choose yourself over their chaos. Knowing the danger is one thing. Walking away is another. It takes courage, because leaving a fool feels unnatural. They are used to your presence. They expect your patience. They assume your loyalty. And breaking free feels almost cruel. But the Tao teaches, not all battles are yours. Not all people are meant to stay. Sometimes, walking away is the only act of wisdom. Courage is not loud. It is quiet. It is calm. It is unwavering. To leave a fool, you do not need anger. You do not need hatred. You only need clarity. Clarity sees the danger. Clarity feels the drain. Clarity knows the cost. And clarity says, this is not mine. I will not carry it. Walking away is not abandonment. It is protection. It is self-preservation. The fool may call you cold. He may call you selfish. He may even attack you with words that cut deep. But remember, he cannot harm you unless you allow it. Courage is holding your ground. Courage is cutting the link. Courage is saying, I will not be pulled into your chaos. And when you finally step away, you feel something shift, lightness, space, freedom. It is the Tao rewarding your wisdom, the universe supporting your clarity. Sometimes courage requires silence. Sometimes courage requires distance. Sometimes courage requires a complete exit. Do it politely. Do it quietly. Do it without resentment. The world will not end. You will not fail. You will only begin to reclaim your energy, your mind, your life. Remember, leaving fools is not cruelty. It is an act of alignment. It is saying yes to yourself, yes to clarity, yes to flow, and the Tao always flows to those who choose themselves first. Walking away is not the end. It is the beginning. The space you create must be filled wisely. Choose carefully. Who you surround yourself with shapes your energy. The wise elevate you. The thoughtful inspire you. The compassionate guide you. One person of clarity is worth more than 10 fools. A circle of clarity is a sanctuary. It protects your mind. It nurtures your soul. Spend time with those who reflect wisdom, not just knowledge, not just skill. Wisdom. Notice how energy shifts when you are with the right people. Conversations feel like flow. Ideas expand. Laughter lifts. Silences soothe. Notice the difference when you are with the wrong ones. Tension tightens. Thoughts scatter. Even joy becomes muted. Your circle determines your frequency. It amplifies your light or dims it. Building a circle requires discernment. Observe energy, not titles. Observe resonance, not popularity. Observe alignment, not convenience. Invite those who inspire reflection. Invite those who challenge without judgment. Invite those who nurture growth. Protect this circle. Remove those who disrupt. Distance yourself from noise, from chaos, from draining personalities. It is not arrogance. It is not exclusion. It is preservation. Your energy is precious. Your mind is sacred. Your life is limited. Learn to read the signs. A person who constantly complains, who manipulates, who twists truth, does not belong in your circle. A healthy circle is dynamic. It celebrates growth. It supports healing. It resonates with flow. Within this circle, you reclaim energy. You expand your clarity. You grow into your Tao. Even small interactions ripple outward. A smile, a word, a gesture of understanding can lift everyone's frequency. Your circle becomes a mirror. It reflects who you are and who you are becoming. The circle of clarity is not built in a day, but it starts the moment you choose yourself over the fools. And once it exists, your life changes. Your energy rises. Your thoughts sharpen. Your Tao flows unbroken. Time moves faster than we think, and fools are patient. They will wait. They will linger. They will consume what you do not guard. Your energy, your clarity, your life. Before it is too late, make the choice. Do not compromise your Tao for the comfort of their presence. Do not dilute your clarity to soothe their ignorance. Do not sacrifice your flow for their chaos. The fools will always exist, in family, in friendship, in work, in the noise of the world. You cannot change them. You cannot save them. You cannot reason with them. You can only choose yourself. step away. Protect your energy. Guard your mind. Preserve your clarity. Feel the weight lift as you create distance. Notice the space. Breathe. Notice your mind clear. Every encounter you decline is a victory for your Tao. Every conversation you refuse is a shield for your energy. Every boundary you enforce is a statement of self-respect. The fool may call you cold. He may call you selfish. He may even attack you with words that cut deep. But remember, he cannot harm you unless you allow it. Your boundaries are your armor. Your choices are your sword. Every moment spent in their presence is a moment lost. Every ounce of energy given is never returned. Every thought influenced is your mind no longer yours. Before it is too late, choose yourself. Walk away with courage. Build a circle of clarity. Live aligned with your Tao. See the difference immediately. The weight of expectation falls. The noise of chaos fades. Your flow returns. The world will not end. Your life will not crumble. You will grow stronger, clearer, freer. The fools will not follow. And that is the blessing. Because only in their absence does your light shine fully. Only in their absence does your mind breathe. Only in their absence can your Tao flow freely, pure and undisturbed. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Do not rationalize. Before it is too late, choose life, choose clarity, choose yourself, and let the fools remain where they belong, outside your Tao.